All right, so this is our trip planner for the Italian trip. So we are planning to depart Charlotte Douglas International at 9:35 p.m. We'll be flying to Leonardo da Vinci Airport in Rome, Italy. Provided there are no delays, we expect to arrive at 7:30. From here, we will catch a train from the airport to the main terminal in Rome, which is Termini Station, which is here. And from Termini Station, we are within walking distance of our hotel, which honestly is a block away, as you'll see here. From here, we were going to give people a little while to get acclimated in their hotels. And after that, we'll go to Palazzo Massimo, which is a museum and other area nearby. It's also a block over here. However, these areas over here are also part of the museum. And after that, we would plan to walk over to the Contemporary Art Museum roughly around 2, which is over here. And after that, it would be a rest and free evening kind of in the neighborhood area, and then head back to the hotel when people were ready. On Wednesday, or excuse me, the next day, October 15th, we would head back to Termini Station to catch the subway to Colosseo Station, which is right over here, right next to the Colosseum. And we would do a guided tour of the Colosseum, the Palatine Hill, and the Roman Forum. So they're all next to each other, and the guided tour would take you from one place to the next. From here, we would depart back from the train at Colosseo Station, next to the Colosseum, to Central Monte Martini, which is a museum. And from here, we would then travel around 4:30 to the Baths of Caracalla, which is back over here. And from this point, we would do return to the hotel around roughly 6:45 from another station, Garbatella Station, which is nearby. And we would have a free dinner nearby here at around 7.
Okay, so the next day is Thursday the 16th, and we're going to wake up and have breakfast at 6:45, and then we're going to depart the train from Tiburtina Station at 8 o'clock. Um, and we will arrive to our planned travel day at the Leaning Tower of Pisa at noon. Then we have lunch at 12:15, and then following lunch, we're going to tour the Leaning Tower of Pisa, which we are able to do because we pre-booked a ticket for 15 euros. So it's a 30-minute tour, guided up the tower, and then we're going to spend probably a total of 2 to 3 hours in Pisa, and also visit the Cathedral di Pisa, Museo del Sinope, and Museo dell'Opera del Duomo. And then we will depart at 6 p.m. on the train and make it back to our hotel at 9 p.m., have dinner at 9:15, and then we'll get in bed at 10. The next day is a Friday, the 17th, and that's our Vatican City visit. So then we'll wake up and have breakfast at 8, and then we'll go to Termini Station and take the train to the Vatican at 8:30. It's going to take about 50 minutes. Then we'll visit the Vatican City by starting with the Skip the Line tour of the Vatican at 10 a.m. That costs $23. Then we'll visit the Sistine Chapel, St. Peter's Basilica, other Vatican museums, and then have lunch at 1:30. And then we will continue the museum visits and have some free time to explore the Vatican. And then we'll try to wrap up the museum tour at 4 o'clock and have dinner at 4:30. Um, then we can go to Castle Sant'Angelo. It's a nearby castle. The ticket is $17, and we'll get there a tour there at 5. And then we'll go to Termini Station and take it back to our hotel at 7:30. We'll be back at 8:30, and then we'll have some free time and time to go to sleep at around 9 p.m.
Alrighty, so on Saturday, we're gonna have a kind of a party slash fun day where we're gonna start the day off at the hotel, breakfast at 9 a.m., and have a little bit of a free roaming period from 10 to 12. And then we're gonna go to the Termini station to go to our Pizza de Roma wine tour, which is a really cool experience that we're gonna get to do. It's a 3.5 hour wine tour. It's about $70 a person. It's gonna start at 12:30, and essentially this is a traveling through ancient olive groves and very old century vineyards, where we're going to learn about the wine process. We're going to learn about historical cellars, as well as the production and contribution of wine to Italian economy. That's a big thing that they're doing there. They're teaching us about how important it is to their economy, as Italy is actually the number one producer of wine in the world. And so we get to go through a whole tour through their cellars and try many different wines. And that'll wrap up around 4 o'clock. And we'll have lunch at 4:30. And then we'll take the Termini station back to the hotel. And we should arrive back around 5 o'clock. And we'll have a little rest period from 5 to 7 p.m. just to get a little break from all the wine. And then at night, we're going to actually experience the nightlife in Rome. And this can be kind of up for, we have an itinerary here, but you can kind of see what else is there too. But we're going to visit local nightclubs and restaurants in the area. And one really cool place we found was the Ice Club. And the room is kept at freezing temperatures, and everyone's provided coats to wear. And that is a really cool thing that we saw in there that we're going to do. And then we're going to visit local breweries that are in the area as well. And just like this one, the Open Baladin. And we're just going to try to experience the late night culture they have in Italy, or in Rome especially. And we'll wrap up and head home around 2 a.m. It'll be a taxi or a train, whichever we decide. And then Sunday, we've decided, of course, we'll start at the hotel, and this will just be a free day in Rome to pick your choosing. You can continue to look at the restaurants, the museums, food. It's just kind of a free day to decide what we want to do. And that'll bring us to Monday, where we will start at the hotel and we will do our Appian Way tour. So the breakfast starts at the hotel at 9 a.m. and we'll take the Termini station to the Appian Way. It'll take about 40 minutes. And at the Appian Way, we will learn about the ancient road to Rome. We'll have a walking tour here of one of the oldest roads in the world. Some say it's actually the first road ever. And we'll see ancient Roman roads and ruins. And there's also a park within the first 10 miles of the Appian Way. So this is a very historical site, and just, again, the road to Rome. This is, again, first roads we've ever seen. So we'll have lunch at 1 o'clock after this Appian Way tour, and then we'll have a train ride back to the hotel. And then that'll be about 40 minutes. And we'll have a free time range from 2 to 4 p.m. And then we'll start another one of our guided tours. This will be our Rome food tour guide. And this is about a 3.5 hour tour. And will be a tour through Italy's some of the most influential food and learning all about it. And that starts at Plaza Farnese. And that is a Renaissance square with the Plaza Farnese site for the French embassy, designed by refined artists, 2 ancient fountains, and a beautiful church. Then next, after we visit this, we will go to Campo de Fiori, and this is actually a very important and famous squares in Rome, hosting fresh fruit and vegetable markets every day until 4 p.m. And it's in the middle of the famous statue dedicated to Giordano Bruno. So a very famous square in the area. And after this, we will go to the ancient Pizzeria Ruggeri. And this is a 100-year-old grocery store managed by a family. And it's local food, and it's just a very old grocery store that's very famous in the area. And after that, we will head over to the Antiso Forno Rosioli, and this will be a very popular bakery in the town. It's a Roman style pizza, and we'll learn how to order food in Rome, of course, and we'll also learn how they kind of make this style of pizza, Roman style pizza, in the area. And after that, we'll make our ways over to the Via Porticio de Altivia, and this is a Jewish ghetto of Rome. We're going to be visiting some of the ruins there that are still preserved in the area. So we'll be able to get to look at that, some cultural sites while we're seeing food. We'll also get to see some of the cultural sites, and then we'll make our way after that. After we see some of the ruins, and we will see Ponte Fabricio, and this is a bridge of Rome that will lead us to the Tibernia Island, and that will be where a lot of restaurants are. So this is a very old bridge, very ancient bridge, and this will just lead us to other restaurants as well. This is a very cool sight to see as well. So after our next stop after the bridge, we will see a Tiber. Oh, sorry, excuse me. We will see Ristorante Sede Oce in Adelinea, and this will be a pasta tasting in the family-run restaurant. And this is one of the most famous and beloved recipes in all of this area. So this will be very authentic, very original Roman, just Italian pasta. And so we'll get to taste that, and we'll get a look into how they make this. And so this will be the most authentic kind of pasta we will ever get to taste and see. And then after we head there, we'll go to the Trastevere, and this is just one of an easygoing outside area. It's we're very popular for nightlife. It's medieval buildings and mini bars, restaurants, and shops. So this is just kind of a square that is very popular in the area, and it's just another area to kind of get a really good feel for the more of a nightlife area in Rome. Right after that, we will see the Fiori di Luna, and this is a gelato. This is the very end of it, and this is a gelato tasting. So this is again very authentic. This is where we're going to see gelato, so ice cream. That's what we a lot of Americans like to call that, but frozen custard or whatever. But this is a family-owned gelato, and this will be again one of the just an insight on how gelato is homegrown and made, and we'll get us just a tasting of that, and that'll be a really cool end to the food tour. And so this is all this will be 3.5 hours, like we said. So this will end around 5 o'clock, and we'll just get through all these sites you see. They're all walking distance. You go through the tour. We're getting a lot of information on the culture as well as just the food and just the authentic food of Italy and Rome. And this will wrap up around 8:30. And after this long day, we'll Appian Way tour and a big food tour. We'll have our bed. We'll go to bed around 9 p.m.
All right. And from there, we would go on the next day. We would do another day trip to Assisi. So we take from the hotel back to Termini Station. And from Termini Station, we would take a train to Assisi. And from here, we would land. We would arrive at just outside the city at their local station, and take about a bus, which takes about 12 minutes to get up to the town proper. As you can see, it's on a hill in their countryside. From here in Assisi, we would walk through the original walled city. One of the main attractions in Assisi is the Basilica of San Francesco de Assisi, which is St. Francis for the anglicized speaker. After this, we would continue up into the town to Rocca Maggiore, which is a medieval castle that sits atop the city, or town, I should say. And most of this would be done kind of throughout the day. After these two sites, we would kind of just let people have free roam in Assisi, as there is about 10 different churches and other historical aspects There's also a Roman museum and other stuff there that people could do. We would then return back home, or board the train at 6:30 to return back home, and we'd arrive around 9:15. And after that, it would be bedtime. And then for the next day, it would be us waking up and trying to check out of the hotel at 9 a.m. and once again, go back to Termini Station to take the train to the airport in Rome. And from here, we would take the plane back home. And that would be our trip.